CFStringTransform is a powerful tool for transliterating between scripts, removing diacritics and accents from text, and converting Unicode characters to their standard descriptions. Transliteration support includes reversible transformations between Latin and a range of scripts, Indic scripts such as Devanagari, Gujarati, and Tamil, the hiragana and katakana scripts used in Japanese, and simplified and traditional Chinese. Okay, let's take a look at the CFStringTransform function. It takes a mutable string to transform, a range, a transform type string, and since most of the transformations are reversible, a bool indicating whether you want the original transform or its inverse. The function performs an in-place transformation, meaning that you will need to pass in a copy of the string you are transforming if you want to have both the original and the transformed versions of the string. And since it's a core foundation function, if you want to use NSString and NSMutableString from foundation, you'll have to take advantage of toll-free bridging to convert them to CFString and CFMutableString. So let's see how this works in Swift. We'll start by transliterating the Thai word for hello into Latin. We first create a string with the Thai word. This is going to be our original string that we copy before passing it into the CFStringTransform function. Then we create a mutable string with a copy of our original string and bridge it to CFMutableString. Now we can pass it into the CFStringTransform function. The documentation tells us that we can specify nil for the range to transform the entire string, which is what we want here. For the transform type, we use Apple's predefined toLatin constant. And then for the reverse bool, we specify false, since we want the regular version of the transform. Then we print the original and transformed versions of the string to see the results of the transform. Apple defines a set of constants that can be used to set the transform type. We just used the toLatin constant, and you can see that there are several others on the list for transforming from Latin to other scripts, and between the katakana and hiragana scripts used in Japanese. But at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that you could do transforms between Indic scripts, simplified and traditional Chinese, and between Latin and other scripts not listed here. That's because CFStringTransform supports the International Components for Unicode standard, ICU. All we need to do to use this is to pass in a string for the transform type parameter that conforms to the ICU standard. Let's see how this works by transliterating between Latin and Gujarati. It's mostly the same code we used before, but this time we add an ICU transform type string, Latin-Gujarati. If you're doing this in Objective-C with NSString, you'll have to explicitly bridge the ICU transform string to CFString. You can find a full list of possible ICU transforms on the ICU website, and the link is in the video description. We can also use CFStringTransform to remove accents and diacritics from a string. This can be very useful as a way to normalize text for searching and organizing content. For example, if you are creating an application with a searchable contact list, users will expect to be able to find contacts that have accents in their names without having to enter the accents themselves. So let's see how that works using the Latin version of the Thai word from earlier, which has some diacritics. All we need to do is use the strip combining marks constant for the transform type parameter, and the rest of the code is the same that we used from earlier. Finally, you can print the standard description of any Unicode character. This is particularly helpful with emoji. So here's the same code once again, except this time the original string is an emoji, and we use the toUnicode name constant for the transform type. So that's how you can use CFStringTransform to transliterate and normalize text.